I'll tell you what, Ray Davis is him. Ray Davis may have created a mess for this running back room in Buffalo because he looked phenomenal. He looked every bit the part we've been talking up all offseason. Now, Smitty, come on, don't tell me you've been talking about Ray Davis, have you? Let's see. Looky here, reindeer, file on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. Live whenever Ray Davis emerges. Live whenever games end. Live before all the morning games. We do it live all the time. This guy, Ray Davis, what a monster. Was it a little risky rolling him out there tonight? We said it was. We had a lot of questions. Do we go with the guy everybody says is starting and Ty Johnson? He's kind of the starter in name. But what have I said for the last 48 to maybe even 60 hours? The guy that goes in when a player goes down isn't necessarily the player you've seen a little more frequently because that's your change of pace third down role. And they oftentimes don't change that player out for the starter. The backup running back sometimes never gets any work until the starter goes down. And Ray Davis was a preseason darling of ours. We put him on the midseason monster list for a reason. And might I say, look, we haven't landed every one of these. We're not even midseason yet. So the midseason monster list, the definition of the midseason monster list is players that will become Moonman caliber players by midseason. Brooks hasn't got his shot yet. Here he is. Davis, just in the nick of time. Now, I can't guarantee Davis continues this. We'll have to talk about that tonight. That's why we're here. Brock Bowers looking every bit the midseason monster that we thought he'd be. And oh my God, look at this guy. Jordan Mason, if he hasn't been a midseason monster, if this isn't the best midseason monster list I've ever seen, I don't care if we haven't hit some of this yet. Jaylen Warren will probably be a bust. Maybe, maybe not. Adunze, I believe, does become something. Mitchell's been disappointing, but there's a lot of upside hidden there. Wright still has his story to tell, and he looks very promising. Ben Sinnott hasn't had a chance yet. Penix Jr., who knows how that turns out. But man, did Mason alone make this list. And Ray Davis, these are two obscure, ambiguous, very out of left field calls. You could say, Smitty, the Bowers one, kind of easy to see coming. Not the craziest prediction ever, although he's been every bit as good as this midseason monster list has predicted him to be. These two are out in left field. These are out in left field. Ray Davis and Mason, these are crazy. These are crazy. That's me on my horse, on my Ray Davis horse, taking it to the promised land. I don't know how this is going to turn out. We might be getting overly excited about how he could possibly take work away from the starter and cemented in guy in James Cook. We'll have to see how this ends up unraveling for Ray Davis owners or going forward, marching forward and becoming a bit of a monster, breakout candidate, win a league player. This guy looks absolutely amazing. He looks absolutely amazing. He looks so good between the tackles that I don't know how. I don't wish injury upon anybody. I do hope that James Cook takes a little bit extra time to heal up and we get a chance to see Ray Davis one more time. Because if he gets unleashed again, this guy was an absolute phenom tonight. Just a monster, straight up monster. Let me get the box score up so we can go over the box score and we can box score Bobby the hell out of this game real quick before we get into the panic chamber part of the show. And the panic chamber part of the show is about Ceedee Lamb. And I can tell you right now that my answer on panicking on Ceedee Lamb is going to be a negative, Ghost Rider. Not worried, but the world is. And sometimes our panic chamber episodes are more about taking advantage of the player that certainly lives inside the panic and that we won't close the doors on said player. So hang tight for that part of the show. Right now, this is a Monday Night Football Week 6 Bills versus Jets Bills win recap show. And we're here to discuss some of the stats that absolutely made people's day in this contest. Let me put up like a red box so I can highlight some of these. That's not the red box I need, Smitty. Where? Let's see if I can find something that I can highlight this with. How about... damn it. Maybe I have something over on this screen somewhere. Hold on, let me see if I have something. I think I do. Here we go. This will work. This will work. All right, so let's go over the stats for this game. Ray Davis. Ray Davis, 20 totes of the rock, 97 yards rushing. What an absolute monster. Look at this man's stat line. He was all over the place. And the crazy part is his most athletic catch, I believe one of, if not Josh Allen's longest throws of his career. This absolute missile to Ray Davis, who leaped in the air, maybe unnecessarily, but I like the way it looked. And I'm happy that Ray Davis decided to jump into the air. But Ray Davis catching 3 balls for 55 yards. Could have scored, didn't. That would have made his day even bigger. But what a day for this guy, Ray. What a day for Ray. What a day for Ray. Kincaid, 6 for 51. We thought he had that touchdown, but that was Knox. Coleman, had a couple deep looks. If you pulled him in, he would have had a good stat line. Could have had like 80 yards and 5 catches, but didn't reel him in. It was a good defensive play on one of those deep shots where it would have been probably a 30 or 40-yard gain. And Coleman just couldn't grab his hands around the whole ball because the defense was a pretty strong display. Lazard catching that touchdown lob at the end of the half. 114 yards and a tutty. Garrett Wilson, 8 catches for 107 and a touch. Should have had another touchdown, but got leveled in that attempt. So this could have been like 120, 130 yards, 10 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson slipped out of this one having just the 107 and a touch, but it should have been bigger. Breece Hall was 8 feet tall in this one. 18 totes, 113, 6.3 a pop, just like we said. They'd run the hell out of the ball, and Braylon Allen had a touchdown robbed from him. So those that started Braylon Allen on a whim, it was a good move. He scored a touchdown. It got called back on a penalty, offensive line penalty. Horrible break for him. And they had to kick a field goal, so it was probably cost them the game. Breece Hall, 56 receptions on 5 catches. What a day. Aaron Rodgers, 294 and 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. What a day. Oh, and I'm sorry. I didn't even speak about my boy Josh Allen, who had 215, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown and 18 yards, 3 total touchdown game for our boy Josh Allen. What a freaking game. This was a good game. Could have been a lot better, too, if it weren't for some of the penalties. And absolutely thrilled to announce probably the most exciting part about all this is some of you tailed my 5-player contest on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Some of you tailed it with me. Some of you made hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this move. I landed every single one of them. Do you remember Sunday morning when we were getting the, hey Smitty, do you have a couple picks for us? I said, let's create a contest. Let's throw 50 to 100 $200 on a contest, or I would. You can throw as much as you want on these. Make sure you're only using what you can afford to throw. But I tossed about $100, I believe, on this one. And it was Derrick Henry over on the touchdown. Dell over on the 52 yards. Gibbs over on the 59.5 yards. Monty over on the touchdown. And Breece Hall, that was the last part of this 5-player contest that needed to land. He got the hire tonight. He had 92 yards rushing, needed 51.5. This one smashed. $700 in the bag right there. Congrats everybody that tailed these 5 for 5 calls on the morning show on Sunday morning. We smashed this week. Absolute smashed. Wow. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this Ray Davis thing. Is there a chance that Cook comes back, takes the job? Ray Davis is just to change the pace back. Certainly, but there is something to the fact that they ran the ball better than they ever have in this contest. There's something to the fact that when they started this game, they ran Ray Davis pretty much the entire first drive, all the way down to like the 1 yard line. And Ray Davis was the focal point of the offense in the beginning and the onset of this game. There's something to that. I'm not saying that he takes Cook's job entirely. Cook might still be the starter in name. He might still get half of the work rushing and half of the work receiving. And he might still get all of the work receiving and half the work rushing. We don't know. We're not too sure. All I know is Ray Davis catching that 40-plus yard touchdown, one of Josh Allen's, if not his longest reception of his career, or a gunslinging toss of his career. It certainly makes you wonder if this guy is going to remain a big focal part of this team going forward. They won. They looked good. They were balanced. I'm not saying James Cook hasn't had some good games too. We got to be careful. Maybe if you have Ray Davis, you end up sending Ray Davis to the Cook owner in some sort of big wide receiver upgrade. Maybe they got Cooper Kupp coming off the bye week and they're a little bit apprehensive about that, and you've got a wide receiver like Deontay and you throw him Ray Davis and Deontay and they do the trade. Or you've got a Chuba Hubbard, you go to the Brooks owner who happens to have Ceedee Lamb and also James Cook. You get Ceedee Lamb, you send the Chuba Hubbard owner Brooks, let's say you got Brooks, and you send them a wide receiver that is not as good as Lamb, that's playing really well, and you get a Ceedee Lamb out of it. That's how you get creative with Ray Davis. Now, do I hold on to him for pennies on the dollar? Absolutely. Does somebody come to me and give me a Deontay Johnson for my Ray Davis when I might have a breakout running back that could take me to the promised land? I'd rather roll the dice on the Ray Davis machine. It's just much safer, or smarter, you should say. More high risk, high reward, actually. Smarter, but higher risk, maybe higher reward, certainly. This guy, Garrett Wilson, feels back. Everything about this coaching shakeup was right. It was the right decision. We've been calling for it for over a year. I didn't like the way Saleh handled the injury with Aaron Rodgers, or everything after the injury to Aaron Rodgers last year. Keeping Zach Wilson on the in the lineup, not making a trade for a QB because he didn't want to ruffle the feathers of Aaron Rodgers, not making a good backup quarterback decision like getting Justin Fields for a fourth rounder non-conditional, because anybody that went to the Bears and said, hey, I know you're going to do what's right for Fields, send him where he wants to go, but that's on a cellar dweller offer with a conditional pick. What if we cut through all that red tape? We say, give you a third rounder, no condition, just third rounder or fourth rounder. Guess what happens? Yeah, this is the Chicago Bears. Justin, we're going to send you where we want to send you now. Earlier we were going to send you where you wanted to go because it was trash, in terms of return on the trade anyway. But we're going to send you on over to the New York Jets so you can back up Aaron Rodgers in case something goes awry. All of those things make it a fireable offense, in my opinion. Those are all fireable offenses on their own. How you handled the Zach Wilson situation, how long you dragged that out, not trading for a quarterback when you still had a team that could win, letting Aaron Rodgers control everything, not mixing things up, letting Hackett remain the play caller after last year and the beginning part of this year that looked like the same team. This looked like Arthur Smith had been brought over to make this offense constructed the way he wanted. It felt like Arthur Smith was in control of this offense, calling the plays for this offense. This felt like the Arthur Smith playbook. And Saleh sat on his hands. I would have removed Hackett walking into the season, grown some balls, and said, Aaron, I love you, pal, but you work for me. But Saleh didn't do that. So Woody and the boys said, let's get rid of Saleh. And now that Saleh's gone, we're going to get rid of Hackett. And if we can't fire him because that'll piss off Aaron Rodgers. Make him fold towels over in the corner of the locker room. Whatever. Give him a job. Make him wash dishes. Make him hand out cigars and cigarettes. Whatever. Just keep him around if it makes Aaron Rodgers happy. He can massage his shoulders in between quarters. Whatever. But we are getting rid of the play caller that is Hackett. The hack job. And we're going to bring in somebody else that's going to turn this team, make it look like the Houston Texans married the Green Bay Packers. And that's what we saw tonight. Now, there were moments, there were bits and pieces that felt like they reverted back to some of their old ways and tendencies, but there was certainly a lot of penalties that held this team back, and the box score doesn't represent what the Jets actually did on the field, because you take away the Braylon Allen touchdown run, you take away this, you take away that, and it ended up feeling like they didn't have quite the game that they really did. It was a really good game for the New York Jets offense. They really turned the page. They really showed why that move was necessary. And if anybody questions why Hackett and Salah were removed, you don't know ball, because you just saw Breece Hall rumble for 6 yards a pop. That's why you feed Breece Hall. That's why you give him the football 12, 15, 20 times a game. Or give him 4, 5, 6 receptions with 14, 15 carries, whatever the case may be, touches. Breece Hall needs 18 to 20 total touches, or you're not doing your job, and you should be removed from your job if you don't recognize that is a necessity and a requirement for this team to get wins and score touchdowns. When Breece Hall gets the ball, either he scores it or the team scores touchdowns and gets into red zone and goal line situations tenfold more than they would. Amazing move by the brass in New York to change and mix things up and shake things up. And in Buffalo, wow, do they continue to do a whole lot with a little. Does Josh Allen not command respect as the NFL's number 1, number 2, or number 3 overall quarterback from an NFL lens, an NFL perspective? Don't give me your I don't know ball argument where you think this guy's only good at fantasy, because it's making you look silly. You're embarrassing yourself if you don't think this is a top 3 NFL quarterback. You're embarrassing yourself. He's a top 1 to 3 fantasy quarterback. Don't say he's not, or you're embarrassing yourself. What a game. What a game. What a day. A lot of fantasy football players came out pretty big in this one. No more than this man, our midseason monster, Cinderella, Ray Davis. Look at this man. He may look like he's, 55 years old, but don't let that fool you. He can run like a young man. And he's coming for James Cook's carries. I don't know how many he's going to be able to grab, but he's grabbing some of them. Panic chamber time. Panic chamber time.
You are entering the panic chamber, brought to you by theattic.shop. Vintage movie tees and hoodies. Are you a panicked Peter? Let's find out. You are entering the panic chamber. Chamber.
Before we do that, I think something is fitting here that we need to do and celebrate.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a whole of a job. A whole of a job. A whole of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a jale bayot.
Now, there are going to be a lot of people in here that just, I don't know if they don't hear me. They listen to me, but they don't hear me. Just because you're in the panic chamber does not mean we are panicking on said player. I said this at the onset of the show. I gave away that he's not a panic. The rest of the world's panicking on him, and he's in the panic chamber. But he's not a player anybody should be panicking on, because he's an absolute force in both fantasy football and the NFL. And he's going to figure it out, as well as quarterback. And the amount of negativity getting thrown at Dak Prescott from people that sit on their couch and act like they know ball, when he's been handed a rough deck. Like, not even a rough hand. The entire deck, the entire season is stacked against him. And if you think that Dak Prescott and Ceedee Lamb won't get on the same page and start connecting to a massive degree, if you don't think they're going to make up for lost time, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to tell you to go buy low on somebody, because I don't know if you recognize glory when you see it. This is one of the best buy lows in fantasy football, period. This might be the very best buy low on the year. This might be the best win a league advice you get on the entirety of the 2024 season. And this goes back to the video that I did. So if anybody in here, like I said, is starting to type right now, you can't react on Ceedee. No crap! That's what I'm trying to tell you, but you aren't listening. Lamb is on top of my entire buy low wide receiver list that you should have already watched. And if you haven't, go watch it. So you should know my answer when we come in here and say the whole world is panicking on Lamb. Do we panic on Lamb? The answer is no. We buy Lamb. You own Lamb, you hold on to him. If you are a Lamb manager, you don't move him unless you're selling him for two absolute monsters. But the thing about it is, I don't think you'll find the right price in a return, 2 players for your Ceedee Lamb to make it worth trading him yet. If he goes nuts next week and returns to glory, 2 touchdowns, 150, all will be forgotten by the Lamb doubters that are going to hide everywhere, tuck their tail between their legs, and return to the live stream and act like they've got Lamb on their breakout list. He's going to bounce back and be amazing. Everyone's going to say it once he does it. But right now, at this current moment in time, there's so much negativity around this situation. And again, I know more than anybody because I interact with my audience more than any YouTuber or streamer on planet Earth. You guys are my co-host. I answer more questions than any other channel, and I'm one man. If you go to channels that have 5 or 6 hosts, those people don't talk to more people and answer more questions in a cumulative fashion than I do. So I do get bombarded by enough, hey, Smitty, should I get rid of Lamb for these 2 players that aren't even close to Lamb's value? No, John, you don't get rid of Lamb for 2 cellar-dweller players. Hey, Smitty, should I trade this guy and this guy for Lamb? No, you don't trade them. Even when someone says, I wouldn't give up Drake London for Lamb, as much as I love Drake London, he's a Mars man. Let me remind you, he's a Mars man. No one likes London more than this channel. We love London. That's why he's a Mars man. He was a Moon man the year prior. He's a Mars man today. We absolutely love him. But if you think this guy isn't top 5 overall any longer, then I don't know what to tell you. If you think that London's top 5 overall, but Lamb's not, that's not the way the world works through 6 weeks of football. And Ceedee Lamb has the capability of single-handedly winning you a week, multiple weeks in a row, and this guy could be a top 1 to 5 overall player from week 6 on. And so, yes, you bet your bottom dollar. And this is how I know that Lamb is a discount right now beyond discounts, because I bet you even a few people in the chat are going to say, I'd rather have London. I'd rather have London. And that's good. That tells us that the temperature gauging that I'm doing is correct. That tells you what I'm saying is accurate. And you don't have to give up necessarily London to get this done. I'm merely painting a picture about where Lamb's value is today. If you want to keep London and try and acquire Lamb anyway, then do that. No one's saying you have to give up London to get Lamb. But I just proved to you that Lamb's value's nowhere near the top 5 overall like it should be still. It's in the London territory because people in the chat right now, I guarantee you, are saying they would rather have London than Lamb. And that means he's one of the best buy lows in fantasy football. Is he in the panic chamber? No, he's not. Hell no, he's not.
You are safe.
He's safe. Let's get to these super chats and then answer some phone calls and go through the process that we go every single freaking Monday night as we walk into the upcoming season. Lamar, Gibbs, Bijan, Dell. $20 hauler from 808 guy. Appreciate you. Bigsby, Patty Mahomes off the bye. JJ off the bye. Mixon looking really solid right now. Achan off the bye. I've been following your buy low videos and sending dozens of offers. I'm 3-3 in aftermath, but looking up. Ideas for Hall. Look, you're buying Hall too late now. That was before 808 guy. I think if you were trying to get him like I advised all week and you couldn't, you're definitely not getting him now. And if you waited and didn't go after him, you're not going to get him now off of a big monster game. You'd have to literally give up somebody like, I mean, you could try. Let's try Bijan, and maybe I don't even think you have anybody that makes sense to grab in the territories where, you know, you're not touching one of those big name players. Like you might have to do a 2 for 2. You could look at Mixon for Hall. But Mixon could produce that good of numbers. You don't know. He looks fantastic, but I'd bank on Mixon getting hurt. His mileage is huge. He already got hurt already this year. I would rather have Hall than Mixon. I just don't know that they'd even do that straight up. And you'd have to throw in a Bigsby, which I do, a Bucky, which I do, a Dell, which I would probably do. I would not throw in a Bijan. You have to try and go get him using Mixon straight up with Bigsby or Bucky or Dell. I'd try not to trade Dell. I don't want to trade Dell. Those are probably the only avenues you can take unless it's Bijan straight up. And, you know, Bijan straight up might work. Bijan with Bucky, Bijan with Bigsby could work. Kind of depends on what that owner has and if they need another RB shot in the dark like a Bigsby, who's going to get a big uptick in volume now that ETN is probably week to week, or he is week to week and maybe missing some significant time. 10-man PPR, they sent me a trade. My Kyren in London and Dowdle for Ceedee, Jacobs, and JMO. I would rather have Kyren, London, and Dowdle over Ceedee, Jacobs, and JMO, but it's very, very close. Kyren is maybe the number 1 or number 2 overall player if I'm drafting today. London is, as we're talking about, a Marsman, somebody we love on this channel. Do I like CeeDee Lamb more? Yes, I do. Would I swap London for Lamb? It seems like some of the people in the chat wouldn't, so maybe you just try that move alone. Puka, I'm 2-5. Do I make the trade? I definitely like the Kyren side more. And Kyren coming off the bye, I feel really good about that side of the trade. So I'm going to say Kyren side. Kyren side, Kyren side. Final answer for me. Higgins plus Debo plus Tank for JJ or King Henry. I would probably take, I'd probably take either one. I guess if you need an RB, you take King Henry. If you need a receiver, you take JJ. It is a lot to give up. I think if you do it, it's probably better to go the RB route because RBs are so hard to come by. You can justify the slight potential overpay. But King Henry's worth it if you have the depth. If this decimates you and you can't win, though, with King Henry, then why trade for him in that capacity? But if you have the depth for it, I mean, King Henry's probably worth it. The running back 1, who's 8 feet tall, has the best go-to clip. The Fantasy Football Show comes through, 20-plus points, 6-0. Hit that clip. We just did. Appreciate you, DeBalt to the moon. I'll give you a Breece, though, because we just hit the clip.
Get Breece.
Appreciate you, DeBalt to the moon. DeBalt's the sponsor of that video clip. Good timing on that one. Okay, all these running backs and the Cowboys have 0. It's amazing. It's amazing. Jerry should fire himself. Got offered Bijan and Evans for my Gibbs smash or pass. Bijan and Evans is better than just Gibbs probably, bro. You got to take that gamble on Bijan. Having a 2-touchdown game, could have been a 4-touchdown game, really. I think Ray Davis has the running style that the Bills want. Perhaps we get Monty Gibbs look in Buffalo. Absolutely, Alec. I mean, there's definitely room for both of them. I just think that if people think Cook is going to retain all the carries, they're kidding themselves because Ray looks good, and he's exactly that. He's exactly what you said. He's the type of back they've wanted. Now, Cook is good. And in some sense, I would tell you Cook is a good buy low. He might even hit the buy low list this week. And that confuses people that Smitty talks one direction and talks the other because that's the nature of fantasy football. There's good opportunity in buying low on James Cook if people are freaking out. There's great standalone opportunity in having Ray Davis. There's amazing opportunity in having the both of them cuffed together, and there's also some risk in having them both cuffed together because they could eat into each other's work. There's all 100 different ways to look at it. Depends on the angle you're coming from. Are you coming from the angle where it's costing you very little to acquire, or are you coming from the angle of I have Cook at a high value in my mind, and what if he loses some value? This is like the Mason, trading Mason away or not. It depends on what you think you can do with the potential value in trading it away or buying it. Are you buying low and selling high? Then anybody can be both an equal buy low and a sell high. It just depends on the angle and vantage point. 12 team, 4-2, first place. Stash Keon, Benson, Wright, or Garendo. Long term, I'm going to say Wright or Benson. Right now, Garendo, just because, but then again, it's Mason's practicing. I don't know. It's a real tough call. I would probably say if you're not using the player right now, you're saying stash. I'm going to say probably Wright. Wright has the most upside. Benson maybe second, but it honestly doesn't really matter what I even think right there because I like all of them. What matters is whose opportunity freakishly opens up, first before the other ones. And you can't control some of that. Like Mostert goes down tomorrow, then Wright is super relevant right away, and it's not even up to him. Tyreek and Bowers or Kincaid and Lamb? I would take Kincaid and Lamb. I like Tyreek a lot still, but there's some ambiguity there enough that I say give me Lamb Chops. I think Lamb Chops is an absolute lock, whereas Tyreek is probably a really good bet. He's also older, though. Which side do you like better? 4-2. St. Brown is my other wide receiver. Yeah, go Lamb for me, but that's because I love Lamb so much right now. Traded Puka, Sharbs, and a late second for Breece. Smash. New Hall was going to be fine and will now help my team smash. I love that we did that for a lot of people, bro. There are so many people panicking on Breece Hall after having, 4 yards and then 20 yards. He had a combined less than 30 yards in two weeks combined, the last 2 weeks heading into this game. The coaching firing, it was writing on the wall. It was so easy to see coming. People were panicking. They're like, why do you have faith in him? Because the coaching change signified they didn't like what was going on. They wanted to mix up the coaching room, and they wanted to change how the RB usage was going on, and they wanted the offense to be explosive, and boy did we smash.
Let him cook.
Hall is here to stay. Dropping Singletary like a hot potato for Davis, as you should have already done. And let's go into the waiver wire room real quickly and say, look, Davis might have just vaulted straight to the top of the waiver wire board. He's already been all over this board, up and down constantly, but he might be right here. Let's put Dowdle. Tucker's up here too. It's really, really hard to rank this like Allen. Bigsby's going to go up a lot because he now has the job to himself essentially, or because of the injury to ETN. You've got Bigsby starting for a little while. Tracy may or may not hang on to the full job. We don't know. So Tracy and Davis are kind of the two running back winners from the week 7 waiver wire board. So as you put your claims in tonight, we've definitely adjusted this and adjust this live. This is adjusted on demand. No show does a waiver board like this. And when I say that, I mean no show updates it 7 days a week. I don't care if your waiver is processed tonight at midnight. Tomorrow I'll show it. Thursday I'll show it. We'll keep tweaking it into Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning. Why? Because you still have moves that you make throughout the entirety of the week. And yeah, while the board might diminish in availability, I get that. It's still extremely helpful to be able to see a waiver list that is kept current all week long. And right now, it's evolved from last night. Right now, Davis climbs to the top. Tracy's right there with him. Bigsby's right there. Mason practice, so Grendo falls to 4. Mostert is still very, very high. In fact, you could put Grendo, move him over, and Mostert and Grendo could be pretty damn even. Algiers a very strong backup running back that's getting half of his carries kind of in the starter realm. So he's right around that territory. This is a really close group of RBs. You could rank it like that. You could say that this top tier. We got Juju at wide receiver. We've got Mooney, who's available in far too many leagues. We've got Tua coming back from injury after another week. We got Drake May vaulting up and looking very good. Flacco now falls to the bottom here, and May climbs up here. And AR5 might actually be available. Let me just check and see what AR5's availability is in a majority of leagues. I might shock myself and have to put AR5 on this list. In fact, let's do it preemptively right here. And let me pull up AR5's availability across all leagues and averages and see where he's at. I wonder if I'm going to surprise myself. Anthony Richardson, who is returning to the lineup this week, which is why Flacco just moved down. He is available in 25% of leagues. That is not quite enough to crack this board normally, but because the QB position's thin, I'm going to say it goes like this. I'm going to say AR5 is the top ad of the week if he's available in your league. Bo Nix looking good. Darnold's obviously great. Tua, you could put Darnold ahead of Tua. We could do it something like this. This would be probably my rank. AR5 is standalone the best ad of the week if he's available. Again, usually you have to have a 30% availability or more to crack this list, but I think we're going to put it like this just because it feels important enough to have the conversation. AR5 is the lone top pickup of the week. Komet, obviously 2 touchdowns this week and has also done it more than once this year. It's not like one game he's popped off. Likely still up there. In my opinion, Likely probably still goes right there if he's available. Likely and Komet are tied for the top tight end pickup of the week. Let's get back to the super chats. So yes, Davis top pickup of the week, Eric. Nice move. I agree with you. I concur. I have Lamb and I just lost 3 and 3. I'll be fine. But it's people that have just 3 wins or 2 wins that have Lamb that are thinking about panicking on him. Trade Bijan and Dell for Lamb. I would take Lamb. I have Murray, Cousins, Barkley, Mason, Kamara, Najee, Warren. Trade Kamara for Lamar. No, I think you lose too much doing that 1-for-1 with your current quarterback room. I know Murray's scaring you, but 2 weeks ago you loved Murray. So we can't be too fickle. I'm not saying don't get like Lamar and something, but keep in mind if we draft today, and I know drafting and trading are different market spaces, but if you drafted today, Lamar wouldn't go as high as Kamara. So you do get to command a little bit of something like a Worthy or something in conjunction with that. You can't just do that Lamar trade because what's it do to it does to your running back stable more than it helps your quarterback room. JD5 and Scary Terry for Lamb. I would do that if you have Lamar and Fields. I probably would ask for a little bit more though. I think Scary Terry's playing so well and JD5's playing so well, you can get more. So the answer to it is no, don't do it just like that. But I like the thinking. I go get a Dell or a Worthy or the top waiver claim to whatever, something to push that over the edge. But I do believe in Lamb enough with your quarterback being Lamar and the dilemma that you're faced with each week in and week out to make a move. Kyron, I'd almost say like JD5 alone could almost get you Lamb right now. I don't know that you got to throw McLaurin in. I'd probably take McLaurin out and put in a different receiver. Kyron, Metcalf, or Scary Terry Lamb. I go Kyron and Metcalf. Metcalf is so good, bro. Don't let this. He should have 2 touchdowns and 100 yards in the contest this week. McClinton with a $20 hauler. Appreciate your 20 spot. I'd like to try and trade for one of the guys on your buy low list. And that list right here is what you're talking about. The wide receivers, Lamb Chops, Jamar Chase, Neighbors, Hill, Worthy, Dell, Collins, Harrison, Nakua, Cup. And not everybody on this list is going to be cheap. Some will be a lot cheaper than others, like Nakua or MHJ, or Collins missing 3 more games on IR, or Dell because people love to hate him, or Hill because people worry about Tua. But like Lamb's going to be cheaper, not dirt cheap. Chase will be a little cheaper, not dirt cheap, but he had a bad game, and people that own him have 2 wins, 1 win, 3 wins. They might be susceptible to trading him. Neighbors, look, I get questions every day that make me scratch my head. And people going, I kind of feel like there's something going on, and I don't like it, and they want to get rid of him. These guys, I want to try and trade in a trade. Chris Olave, Worthy, Flowers, Brian Robinson Jr. What guy should I get? I think using Olave and Brian Robinson or Flowers. I'd sell Flowers high right now because Olave's banged up. But Brian Robinson Jr. and Flowers could probably get you a Tyreek, a Neighbors, or a Lamb. I think it could get you a Collins and a player. I think it could get you Cup and a player. I think that's what I would go for with that. I really think you can get that. Flowers had that big of a game. Now, would I do Olave and Flowers for Cup? Yes. I probably would. Would I do Olave and Flowers for Lamb? Hell yeah. Would I do that for Hill? I probably would. So you could go the 2 wide receivers alone if you wanted instead of going Brian Robinson. But I think Brian Robinson helps somebody if they need a running back. It really will help them push them over the edge to trade Lamb away. Go get Lamb. Give Bijan and Algier. Get Jacobs, Waddle, or Barkley BT. So give Bijan and Algier. Jacobs and Waddle are like a ham sandwich that's crusty with bread that's almost going to show the mold, but you're maybe 1 day early, compared to a filet mignon sandwich on a cheesy bread roll with mashed potatoes and gravy and one of those cold salads that come on a cold plate that's been in the refrigerator. Barkley and BT, I don't even understand how this is an or question. Like Jacobs and Waddle or a filet mignon. Like, of course I take Barkley and BT. Jacobs and Waddle for Bijan. Look, it's arguable, but I probably wouldn't do it because that side's not performing, you know, and Bijan did just score 2 touchdowns, but that's not even close, those 2 comparables. Got Lamb and 3-3 with Achane. I'm not panicking. I think I already posted that one, but yes, you should not be panicking. Have Kyler need help for a backup May or Williams. Caleb's probably safer, and, you know, he's playing well. So I like May, but rookies will be up and down. I think he's good. I don't know that he has the weapons to make this sustainable, you know, with the ups and downs. He has one bad game, you're going to write him off. So, and Caleb's got a good schedule, so Caleb is the easier call by far. I try and trade into Mahomes on the cheap, though. Should I trade Debo and J-Mo for Ceedee or Debo and Chase Brown for Godwin? I don't trade Debo and Chase Brown for Godwin. I do trade Debo and J-Mo for Ceedee if I have the depth to do it. But those are 2 nice receivers. If it leaves you like really struggling to fill your last wide receiver or flex spot, then I probably wouldn't, because then that depth matters. Sent a lot of offers for studs, but got shut down. Who's a good wide receiver, 1 or 2 I can target with this team? So Jacobs and probably Chase Brown. Chase Brown's got some more value right now. Kraft's got some value. You know, Davis has some value for sure right now. People are hyped about him. I don't think I trade Achane. I don't think I trade Hurts. I don't think I trade AJB. Hurts and AJB have got the bye week, and Achane have the bye week out of the way. I don't trade Debo. I'd probably say Jacobs and Pickens for a, you know, you could go Cooper Kupp. Jacobs and Pickens for Cooper Kupp probably won't work. Nico Collins. I would take Nico Collins. Jacobs and Pickens for Nico and weather through that and get him back. I would take Cooper Kupp. I would take an injured Marvin Harrison Jr. for that. I would take Puka Nacua for Pickens and just wait on him. I would definitely do Tyreek Hill. I think you can easily pull one of those off. But when people say they've gotten shut down, I venture to say you haven't sent out 20 offers yet total. And it usually takes something of that clip to get one accepted. Time to sell Lazard. I mean, maybe. It depends. Mixon and Kincaid. Sell Mixon and Kincaid. I would sell all those guys if the price is right live. I don't know that there's an answer for that. Like, do I sell Lazard or hold him? I'd do both. It depends if you can get rid of him at his current value. I'd probably sell him. Yeah, hell yeah. You know, if I could get Worthy straight up, if I could couple him with another player to get an upgrade, I could turn a player that's like playing well, like Swift, into, you know, a JT or a Tyreek Hill or a CeeDee Lamb, obviously. Breece Hall, running back 1 overall rest of season, says Kevin. Kevin loves Breece Hall. He says get breeced.
Get breeced.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you. Breece Hall to the moon. Matt, I appreciate you. No trade, no PPR, Deontay and Dell or Puka Juju. Give me Deontay and Dell because, you know, you're going to be without Puka for a while. And I just think that you lose a lot of points waiting on that. And I think Dell's going crazy. My league only has 5 bench spots above average selection in waivers. Should I pick up Keenan, McConkey, or Juju? I would say that's not above. I would say it's more than above average on waivers. Should I pick up Keenan, McConkey, or Juju? Squad is Hurts, Dobbins, Higgins, Devontae Smith, Kelsey, Bucky, Irving, J-Mo. I'd probably say I drop Shakir and I pick up Keenan Allen. And Keenan Allen's got good trade value. I like Juju a little bit more as well, but Keenan Allen has good trade value. You could couple Keenan with like Jacobs or somebody and get one better player, like an injured JT or a Tyreek Hill or a Cooper Kupp or Brandon Ayuk or something like that, who's down right now. Down playing, not injured. Burrow, Achane, Kyron, Mixon, Chuba, Mason, Lamb, London, T, Bowers, Kraft, Hawkinson, 6 points per TD pass, I assume you're saying. Go after Hill or Collins, absolutely. Tyreek Hill, I would use T. Higgins and let's call it Chuba. I'd go after Tyreek Hill. I'd go after Ceedee Lamb. I'd go after all those boys, bro. JT even using T. Higgins. And I would upgrade Mason if I can using T. Higgins into it was Breece Hall. Now that's done. Kyron or Achan. I think I'd rather turn Mason into Achan. Thank you for the super chat. Just get it done. Appreciate you. And Christian, appreciate your super chat. You're 5-1. Should you trade Ceedee, Kamara, CMC for Saquon, Deontay Johnson, Cooper Kupp, and Hawkinson? So Ceedee, Kamara, and CMC. Ceedee, Kamara, CMC for Saquon, Cooper Kupp, and Deontay. I would take Saquon and Cooper Kupp. Number one, Saquon's got the bye week out of the way. Christian McCaffrey, you don't know what you're getting. Kamara, I like a lot, but he is older. He's 29 years old. CeeDee Lamb, I love, but he is in turmoil, right? We're buying him low. We're not selling him low or buying him high or anything. And Cooper Kupp's just coming back. Bye week free. Saquon's bye week free. Huge advantage, I think, to go after those guys that have already had their bye week. So I'm going to say go ahead and smash that Cooper Kupp side, my guy. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Don't forget the buy low video on wide receivers is up tomorrow. I'm dropping the running backs. I might drop the running backs and wide receiver. All right, let's hit these. A few of these phone calls. We've got we've got Slayer. What's up, Slayer? What can I do for you, Slayer?
What's up, buddy boy? Chase Brown season, baby. And
Chase Brown?
Everybody slept on Bijan. Everybody's worried about Bijan. Where you at?
Chase
Brown. Well, I'm in a 12-man league.
Chase Brown?
Keeper league. I just traded BTJ, my third round for next year, and my sixth round for next year for Jay Jettis. What do you think, Smitty?
BT and not even a first rounder at all? They're just seconds and thirds or whatever?
Third and sixth.
Who cares? Yeah, BT for J. Smash. Yeah, I like BTJ. I think people are giving up on him too quickly, but you're not. You're just buying low on JJ, which is fantastic. So JJ, you're wasting my marker, bro.
I know. Sorry.
You could have gave me a heads up, like Smitty, don't write this down, or you're just gonna waste some of the P&L this month.
How much do markers cost?
I'd say like a $4.99 super chat might suffice.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna send that right your way, sir.
All right, just earmark it for marker fund if you would.
Definitely, right. You got that coming.
All right, anything else, bro? Slayer to the moon.
That's it. All right, later, Smitty.
Let me send you on a. I'm sorry. Who's your favorite player? Let's see if we got a video for that.
Jay Jettis.
Do I not have a JJ video at this point? Why? I'll create one for you. I got to create Kirk Cousins one for Ron Navy still. He's been asking for it. All right, appreciate you, bro. Later.
All right, later.
Where are we at? Let's go over to Marsman Rock Out, who is a Marsman, so he cuts the line. Rock Out, what do you hear? What do you say? What do you know?
Still can't buy and win that one league.
I'm sorry, bro. Sometimes it's just the way it is in a league or two. You know, you can do it. Look, you remember the team I had in Miss Smitty's work league? I can't buy a win in that league either. I can't buy a win. I'm injured. I lost Rice. I keep getting hit left and right. It's unbelievable. My team was so good. It still is so good. I look at my roster. I'm like, I'm still amazing. I still have such a good team. But losing Rice was a nutsack kick, like a real bad one.
Yeah.
All right, hit me with what do you got?
And to keep in perspective, a 5-0 team has more points than I do. I mean, less points.
Jeez, bro. What do you got?
I'm trying to probably figure out how to trade either JT or Walker for like a 2-for-1.
JT. See, you can't trade JT right now. My focus is all jacked up. You can't trade JT.
Yeah, no.
Walker, you probably can't trade him for like 2 players. If everybody can mute that's on hold, please. I don't think JT. You just gotta wait. Like JT's the guy you go after right now from the Panic Peter. And Rock Out, you might have to mute as well because there's a lot of reverb. I think that there's opportunity to trade Walker, but I just don't know you're going to get the return you want. Here's the earmark marker fund from Slayer. Thank you, Slayer. Appreciate that. I don't know that you could get like even a let's call it Puka. I'm just trying to think of a wide receiver like Puka.
I'm waiting on Puka.
Oh, you got Puka. Let's see. You always have the players I'm telling you to get, so it's like makes it hard.
I know.
I mean, you could go after Nico Collins, and then
possibly,
and then get this other player. Now, what's that other player? I don't know. It's got to be somebody because you're losing. You can't afford this. You got to get somebody that can kind of hang with Kenneth Walker in crafty fashion, and then hope that when Nico comes back, this guy's hanging with Walker, and then you get Nico, and now you win win the league, and you come back. Like, I don't know that I trust Jacobs, but that's kind of like the kind of player I'm trying to envision. I don't know if he's the guy, but there might be somebody in that vein of, has the capability of being what we thought he could be. And you know what would have been a good one is Mixon, coming off of the injury. I bet you could have got like that kind of move, and then now Mixon's untouchable at this kind of value. So think about a couple. Go look at the Team Rockout. I'll swing back around if you can mute real quick. I'll swing back around and you tell me who the Collins owner has when I swing back over. Let me go to Fitzy real quick. Fitzy, you're live. Everybody else stay muted if you could. Fitzy, go ahead.
Would you drop Bucky Irving for Ray Davis?
Sure. Yep, I would.
And I also was going to ask you, would you trade Kenneth Walker and Tank Dell for Breece?
Yes, I would take Breece Hall. It's a close one. I really like, I love Dell. I love Walker, but Walker is kind of beholden. I would say Walker's situation is almost like a more severe version of the Breece Hall situation. Like the Breece Hall, it's like you're holding your breath. Is he going to get the carries or not? Like Walker's in the same boat. The coaches said, I want to feed him. Grubb has said, we're going to feed Kenneth Walker, and they did. And I do love Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is a top 10 running back. But I would rather have Breece Hall. Now, it also depends on like who goes in your lineup if you trade Dell, though. Like, are you going to have at least a Mooney type player?
I'm gonna have Jaden Reed, Tyreek Hill, and Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, so you're fine. That is definitely grounds for upgrading into Breece Hall. Sure.
I also wanted to ask you, would you trade? Somebody offered me Garrett Wilson for Tyreek Hill. I don't know.
I'd rather bank on Tyreek Hill, my boy.
Mm-hmm.
And the bye week the bye week out of the way and everything, those are all advantages you might need. And you just got to hope that when Tua comes back, he's a top 5 overall player again. That's what your hope is.
I just wanted to ask you. I wasn't going to take it, but
all right, later, Fitzy. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Let me go over to let's see, the Redwood.
Hey, Smitty. Which side do you like better? David Montgomery and Olave, or James Cook and Godwin?
James Cook and Godwin?
Yeah. I'm the one. I have Montgomery and Olave, but I also have Gibbs too. So
man, that's tough because I like Monty way more than I like Cook right now, given the situation we're dealing with and talking about. I love Godwin equally, if not even a little more than Olave, who's concussed right now on top of everything. I that's so tough, bro. I think you almost have to go. Let's go to the chat on this one. Chat, vote Monty, Olave, or Cook and Godwin. It's so tough, bro. I'd probably lean toward the Monty Olave side because you're without Olave for a week, but then you probably, and then he's back, So I'm probably gonna take this. I'm probably gonna take this Monty Olave side, but that's really
I think
tough.
there's something to him having. I think there's something to him having Gibbs and Monty too. I think that's just such a strong combo to have because, God forbid, one of them went down. You don't have too much of a worry, and you can play both of them as well.
Yeah, I've been playing both of them every week, and then their bye week's over too. So.
I have.
Yeah. Surprisingly, the chat is more in favor of the Cook Godwin side by quite a bit. But I just look at this and I say to myself, we're seeing we're seeing some volatile James Cook value right now. Now it might be a lot of freaking out for nothing because Cook is still a good running back and he's earned his job. So like we gotta pump the brakes a little bit on the guaranteed expectation that Ray Davis is taking over or something. But it's exciting. It's a midseason monster that's going nuts for us, so we're excited about it. But there is definitely a chance that Godwin continues to play at the level he's playing and Cook returns to his form and that this side ends up being better. But Monty's very safe. Olave should be okay. It's not like he's done or anything. I think people are going to overreact because of the neighbors situation. They're going to overreact to MHJ and they're going to overreact to Olave's concussion. And it feels like it's the end of the road for some weird reason. I get it. I even feel it myself with MHJ's injury. I'm like, God, I'm now behind a game. Now I got to wait. Is he going to be back the next week? Is he going to be hampered the first week back? It's like it's a really, really like concerning situation. But Cook, you don't even know if Cook's going to miss another game. I probably won't, I imagine, but you don't know that. So I guess I would just say, Monty has the bye week out of the way. That's a huge advantage, bro. I'm going to say Monty Olave. Monty Olave. I'm going to bank on Olave coming back. I'm going to bank on Rattler being pretty decent. And I'm going to bank on Olave just having a nicer second half to the season. But tough call, bro. Yeah. All right, appreciate you later. All right, let me go over to Cody. Cody, keep it short, bro. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to get the timer up.
No worries. I got offered J-Mo for Bigsby. The ETN owner wants him.
I'd take J-Mo over Bigsby because even if Bigsby does have a nice little, shot at being the starter, like they're still sharing carries a little bit. They're still spreading it out a little bit. It's the nature of Peterson in that situation. But I just think J-Mo feels like, God, I don't know. He's better than Mooney was a week ago. Now people are like, I don't like Mooney. Like that's how fickle everybody is. But this is a player that's delivering constant, near wide receiver one volume. And if St. Brown wasn't there, he'd be the number one. And I think he's a fantastic player. There's no way I'm trading J-Mo. Or if I'm getting J-Mo, I'm trading for J-Mo. Yep.
So take the J-Mo. All right, thank you, Smitty.
All right, later, bro. All right, Trooper Dave, you're live.
Hey, what's going on, man? I've been hit with the injury bug at wide receiver. 3-3. J5 had my highest trade value. So I sent him and Deontay Johnson for Kyler Murray, Metcalf, and Kittle. What are your thoughts on that?
DK, Kittle, and Kyler?
Yep, for JD5 and Deontay Johnson.
I don't know. It's tough because, I guess it's not bad.
I lost Rice. I have Neighbors out. I got MHJ out. So my receivers are ravished.
I'm not saying it was a bad move by any means. I think, wonder if you could have got more. I don't know. I guess I would say, you know what? I believe in Kyler more than most people. I know he's down right now. I know everybody doesn't want him, but it's a good buy low. DK had his 2 touchdown game, which he should have had in week 6. He had 2 touchdowns and 100+ yards that were negated. And Kittle just had a 2 touchdown game looking fantastic. This is a good side. I think JD5, there's still going to be some games where he's up and down. People need to understand that. He's a rookie. He's going to have, like, the moment he has a 0 touchdown game or something, people are going to lose it and jump off the train as quickly as they've jumped on. But he'll also then rebound and people will be back. But I don't think this is a bad move. Would I have wanted you to get more? Maybe, but I don't know that you could have. I mean, this Kittle's understated here. Like, this is a good team. I think you did good.
Yeah, I think Kittle probably is one of the top tight ends through 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And, to piggyback prior to Metcalf's rough game, he had 3 straight 100-yard games. So I think he'll be fine.
All right, bro. I think you did good.
Thank you.
All right. It took me a minute to, like, break it down, but at the end of the day, like, Kittle, that's a pretty nice haul. Kittle and DK for the QB downgrade, which Kyler still has. I mean, we're only like a week or two away. We're only like a week or two away. Why is this frozen on here? Hold on. Let me see if I can get. Let's see if I can get this off screen here. There we go. We're only like a week or two away from Kyler Murray being everyone's top 5 quarterback darling. Like, we got to keep in mind what 2 weeks can do to a person's value. Hill or London rest of season, probably London, but there's still some, like, if you could get Hill in something, I would consider it, but it depends on what the something is. Eric, and then to Spiffy, and then to Travis. Eric, you're live. Go.
Smitty, thank you. I'm definitely dropping Singletary for Ray Davis waiver wire pickup. Am I dropping Braylon Allen to pick up AR5? I need to pick up a quarterback for Josh Allen's bye week.
I would. I mean, I love Braylon Allen. I'm trying to figure out another way. But I think AR5 is being given up on far too quickly. I
may just drop my kicker. Or my
I don't understand. I understand why people bench him. And in some scenarios, I understand why people would cut him for another player. But I don't understand why people don't get that it was just a week or two before his, injury. People were like, oh my God, you see that throw he made, that 60-yard off the back foot, and that football I remember I was mesmerized by the throw. I was mesmerized by AR5's missile that he threw that looked like it hit his peak of its throw, and it kept going up like a drone had controlled the football. It was so, like, this guy has a cannon. Is he accurate yet? No, but Josh Allen was just as bad his rookie year. People forget. Everybody wants everybody to be perfect as a rookie. Not everybody's going to be JD5, and AR5 is really playing his rookie year out. He runs for 1 or 2 touchdowns any given game. What are they going to do? Put Flacco out there? Why? What's the point? So they can win a couple games? Like, this is about trying to develop AR5. And if you think they're going to give up on him after 2 bad games of accuracy, you got another thing coming, because they're not winning a Super Bowl with Flacco. There's no point. They might as well give AR5 reps and let him get better so that next year they'll know what they got. And maybe he surprises everybody and their mother down the stretch. I'm excited for it. I'm not saying I'm starting him anywhere. I might be in a super flex or 2. I don't know. But this is definitely somebody that I think people are writing off. And they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be writing them off. They shouldn't. It's not smart. All right. Anything else?
Yep. Thank you, Smitty. You're the GOAT.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Spiffy and then Travis. Spiffy, you're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty?
What's up? What's up, Spiffy? Where you been?
Hey, I've been everywhere but here. So I was just gonna let you know.
You've been everywhere, but you've been everywhere but here. What in the hell is that supposed to mean?
I've been really busy. I've been a busy man.
Okay, I thought you meant you were watching every show, but this show is the way that sounded.
No.
Okay, go ahead, Spiffy. What can I do for you?
Yeah. So I haven't sent you out my team, but just to give you a rundown of how my team's looking, it's so far I'm 5-1, so far so good.
You sent me your team. You sent me your team where?
No, I didn't. I haven't done it yet, so I was gonna run it by you.
Okay, hit me real quickly, and then I got to run.
Yeah, so QBs, I got Jaden Daniels. I have Josh Allen.
Okay.
Running backs, I got Etienne Jr., Travis Etienne, Antonio Gibson, Ramondre, Ray Davis. So let me know if I'm going too fast.
Go ahead.
All right, receivers, I got Chase, Terry, Godwin, Devonta Smith, Jordan Addison, Devonta, DeAndre Hopkins, D-Hop, and that's it. And then my tight end is Evan Ingram with a fire move.
You had Chase, Terry, Godwin, and who was the other running back or other wide receiver?
Chase, Terry, Godwin, Devontae Smith.
Okay. All right, what can I do for you? First of all, is it a 1 QB?
1 QB.
Okay, so you got to try and trade one of these QBs. That's for sure.
Yeah. I feel like I'd rather trade away Allen, if you ask me.
You have to. You rather trade away who? Allen?
Josh Allen.
Oh well, yeah, but you kind of can't be picky, bro. Your running back room looks like it got ravaged. Like you got to do something. You got a great. Who's that in the background?
Yeah, don't. He doesn't always find well. That's from my cousin.
Trade him a running back.
Yeah, sorry.
Trade him a running back.
Trade.
Does your cousin need a wide receiver quarterback? Does your cousin need a quarterback?
Go ahead.
Yeah, but I have Mahomes, man, but I don't trust him. I've been trying to give this guy Puka. He doesn't want him.
What other receivers do you have, bro? Or no, what running backs do you have? He doesn't need Puka. That's why he's saying no.
Fuck, dude.
What
running? DeAndre Swift, Devin Singletary, Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not trading you JD. He's not trading you JD5 for any of those guys, bro. What'd you guys do? Did you guys fall asleep? Both of you fall asleep during the running back drafting of your draft, that portion of the draft? What do we do? Combined, you guys don't have a running back one. I mean, Swift is playing that well right now. Let's give him that. But I damn it, your buddy doesn't have a running back. How we got to pull a trade off? You got to try and trade JD5 or Allen. And the problem, Spiffy, and I know you. If people don't remember, this is the guy that drafted 2 tight ends in like the 3rd and 2nd round or something like that because he wanted to cornerstone the tight end market. And he called in for like 10 straight weeks. And we tried to get rid of one of the tight ends and we couldn't. And it was like, this is why you don't do that. Nobody wanted him. You destroyed your whole season doing that. You have the personality, Spiffy, where you're set in your ways and you only want to trade Allen away. You don't have the luxury of that. Allen just scored 3 TDs, looked fantastic. Would I shop him? Yes. But you need to shop both these guys and you need to get the running back the best running back you can for one of these guys, whether it's JT injured, whether it is Achane coming off the bye and some ambiguity around his situation, whether it was Breece Hall was the home run. Now that's off the table. So you need to go after one of those RBs or someone very close to that value, and you need to give up whichever QB they want.
Yeah.
Otherwise, guess what? You're going to have the QB of your choice, but you're going to also have the other one, and you're not going to make the right call each week, and then you're going to lose the league. So you can either have the player that you want, or you can trade smartly, whichever player gets you the best RB opportunity back. Because one of them might land you a trade, and one of them might not, and you're not going to get a trade done because you want to hold on to one of them.
Do you think a 1-for-1 is more ideal? Because I don't know if these QBs can get something like an RB1, but maybe an RB2.
Who's the Ceedee Lamb owner have at RB?
That's Chris. Derrick Henry and Rashad White and Bucky Irving.
He doesn't have anybody else. He's not going to trade Henry. Who's the
No,
J?
he's not. Yeah, Zach Moss.
Yeah.
What was that?
I was going to say, just go after those RBs that I said using the quarterback.
See if the Achane owner is down on him.
Yeah, go after Achane, go after JT, go after Kamara. Let me see if I can pull up the RBs here. Hold on one second. I got the RB list right here. This is from last week. These are last week's RBs. Walker, I go after Walker, go after JT, go after Kamara, go after Achane. This is actually going to be this week's buy low list for the RB. So let me put the receivers back on. So yeah, all right. Hey, Spiff, you got to go. Call back if you got another one. Appreciate you, bro. Call back more often.
Will do. Appreciate it.
Go after those RBs. Do it live. Go. Travis, you're live.
Hey, real quick, I told Buddy he can't call in. He was wondering, told him I'd ask real quick. Do you panic at all on Breece Hall that if the team falls apart, they cut back his workload and he starts splitting with Braylon Allen and stuff? I don't, but Buddy was asking, so I told him I'd ask you quick.
No, I don't think that they think like that in the NFL as much as we are fearful that they will. I don't think they, and the players specifically don't think like that. But what's the division look like real quickly? Let me go over. So we got Buffalo 4-2. We got Miami's 2-3. We got the Jets are 2-4. The Patriots are 1-5. I mean, I think it'll be deep into the season before you're giving up. You're still talking about trying to grab a wild card spot. You're talking about in the West, the Chargers are 3-2. In the South, the Colts are 3-3, so 3 wins. Only in the AFC North is there a second team that has 4 wins or more. The Baltimore Ravens and the Steelers are both 4-2. So the wild card's going to still be open. Not to mention, they're only 2 games back from Buffalo. So I'm not worried about it. That's such a woulda, coulda, shoulda, or not a woulda, coulda. That's such a what if, and we're gonna make a trade based on that kind of spec is crazy.
Okay, and I just offered to ask because
yeah. Let me answer real quickly since I got you and Rock out as the final callers. Hang tight real quick. I got Breece. This is from Myro, $20 hauler. I got Breece, Godwin, Henry, Jacoby, traded Gibbs and Chase Brown, and got Garrett Wilson and Josh Downs. I don't like that, Myra. I wish you would have checked with me because it's not horrible, but I'm all about trading for Gibbs right now. Gibbs is one of my most sought after buy low players for the rest of the season. I love that people are freaking out about him. So you look at Garrett Wilson, who just did really well, and I like Garrett Wilson, and he looks solid right now. They're definitely using him properly. But I'd rather have Gibbs over Garrett Wilson, and I'd much rather have Chase Brown over Josh Downs. So in a way, I feel like you had the 2 best players in the deal. But one could argue that Garrett Wilson is turning a page and going to continue to have 100 yards and a touch. But I wouldn't have done that trade personally. But it's not like a take a lap moment. It's just preference. But for me, it's a strong preference. I know it might not be for everybody. This one here from Darren. Should I stay clear from the Bucs backfield? To a degree, if you need a running back, it's very potent. It's been very good. I think Bucky could continue to thrive and do well if, let's say, White stayed out. But once White comes back, there could be a real threat of a 3-headed monster. And this is coming from Bowles himself. The coaching staff is actually saying it's now a 3-headed monster. Those are their words, not mine. So, yeah, I'd say stay away to a degree, but it depends on the alternative. Stay clear of the backfield. Thanks again for dropping that. David, appreciate your $13.99 hauler. You said such bad luck, Smitty. I listened to you and picked up Ray Davis as soon as Cook was questionable, but benched him because I thought Cook was playing. Lost by 0.3. Now I'm 1-5. Well, David, we did the whole pregame show with 30 minutes or so or more of a lead time. So you got to get here and watch that show. What, Travis?
He must have been on a different planet.
Yeah, because it was very clear. But look,
everyone knew that.
Some people were working and, they can't, I get it. You're making the call and you have no ability to. So it's not necessarily your fault if you're in that spot. But, yeah, that call came, and also the Patreon, David. If you join the Patreon, you would have been in there asking. You could have just said, "Hey guys, in the chat, we get into this game day lounge right before a game, and we sit in it the entire game." There's the rest of the chats go completely dead. There's like not a single message being posted in any of the other chat rooms. It's only the Game Day Lounge, and it's nonstop questions. If you're at work and you can't wait for the video, or you can't watch the YouTube show, you could literally just say, hey, is Cook out or in? Or you could have just looked at the chat and everybody was saying, Cook's out, like about 40 minutes before the game. So another reason why you should be joining the Patreon, and I have that Patreon link in the live chat pinned. It's also in the description of the video. But this is an easy way to get questions answered and not get screwed, because it's like instant advice whenever you need it. But David, I appreciate you, and I'm sorry that worked out that way for you. Trade Henry, Dell for Hall, Collins, and Godwin. I would take Hall, Collins, and Godwin by quite a bit, and that's saying something because of how good Henry is right now, but that's a boatload. Traded Chase Brown for Ayuk. I like that. As much as I like Chase Brown, I'd take the gamble on Ayuk. I think he's still going to be very, very good. But I could also see if you needed an RB, you trade Ayuk for Chase Brown. I think it's pretty even, honestly. Do you think Cook Davis will become a committee? I do think there's to an extent they can't take Davis off the field. But anything could happen. But I think that they saw tonight that this kid is the real deal between the tackles. He's gritty. He's tough. And keep in mind, Cook has some fumbling problems that if they arose, I could see them just taking Cook off the field. So I don't think Cook loses his job, but I don't think they can put Davis on the bench. I'm 1-4, and I have Lamar, Amon-Ra, Jaden Reed, Saquon Swift, Terry, Laporta, benches Amari, Lazard, Leggett, Schultz, Braylon Allen, Herbert. What do you do? I'd probably say I like your receivers. I love your RB room, considering how well Swift's playing. I do admit he's playing way above my expectations, and you could definitely say I've been wrong on him so far. I'd still trade him high, though. Doesn't mean that I'm doubting him necessarily. I'm just loving the trade high value and prospect of that. Just like Godwin, I think Godwin can continue to ball out, but would I trade him high? Certainly, because he's at an all-time high, and there's something good about trading a guy like at that level. I'd probably say if I'm making a trade in this situation, you've got a couple options. I'm keeping Saquon. I'm keeping Amon-Ra. They're both bye week free going forward. Terry's playing out of his mind. Laporta's got the bye week out of the way. I'd probably say like your best move is going maybe Swift in either Swift and Reed, or you could explore Swift and Amari, or you could explore Swift and Terry, but I'd rather keep them. So Swift and Reed, or Swift and Amari for maybe a Achane, maybe a Tyreek Hill, maybe a Cooper Kupp, maybe a player like, I really would love to see you get into Lamb Chops before his value climbs back up. So an example of that would be, and I've seen this before, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, a Jaden Reed, a Swift, and an Amari, or a Terry, Swift, and Reed for Lamb and something. So I would probably shoot for the moon on those. I also would be very tempted to try and get, if you're trading away Swift, you're kind of put in a position where I don't know if you have any other running backs. If you don't, then you kind of can't trade Swift unless you're getting an RB back, I guess. So you could go after Achane, you could go after JT, even though he's hurt, and use like Amari and Swift. You could also bank on Swift being a top 10 running back for the rest of the season. Like, that's not crazy either. But I would personally rather get Achane or Gibbs. Gibbs would probably be my favorite player to go get right now. He's got the bye week out of the way, and he's so devalued right now. Swift, Reed, and Amari probably gets you Gibbs. So let me conclude with that. That's my first and main priority if I'm you. Kraft or Ingram, rest of season. You mean Ingram with an E? I'd probably say Ingram, but I do like Kraft a lot. I would say Ingram's the better player, the more proven player. Jaden, 3-3, just traded Evans and Dell for Tyreek and Aaron Jones. I'd rather have Tyreek and Aaron Jones and take the gamble on Tyreek, who has the bye week out of the way. Looking to trade Monty and Ayuk for Pacheco and MHJ. That would be an awful trade. I would not do that. Monty alone is probably worth MHJ and Pacheco, bro. You're going to add an Ayuk? That's an awful, awful, awful move. Don't do it. Pull it. 10-man PPR, 2-4. Trade ideas, Mahomes, Jacobs, Mason, CMC, Neighbors, MHJ, Scary Terry, Ingram. Now, if that was a dynasty league, that would be different, and we'd have to have a different conversation, by the way, for MHJ. Chase, Brown, Dell, Fields, Hawkinson, Mostert, Garendo. I probably try and keep Neighbors no matter what. I would keep Mahomes no matter what, because what are you going to do? Just bank on it. He's going to have the buy out of the way. Jacobs and Mason, and I don't think you can sell MHJ high at all. You're probably looking at maybe using a Chase Brown or a Hunt in a trade as well. Dell could go into your lineup. I'd probably say something along the lines of go get Tyreek Hill using Scary Terry and Hunt, a bench player. Dell and Hunt for Tyreek Hill would be interesting. Ceedee Lamb using maybe Jacobs and Scary Terry and Hunt. You could go crazy, and if somebody needs a bunch of talent, they take 3 players like that, or you go after a JT or especially an HN or a Gibbs using those same approaches. But Gibbs, to me, I think if you gave up, let's say, Scary Terry and Jacobs for Gibbs, or Chase Brown, Hunt, and Scary Terry for Gibbs and something, I would do that. Or Jacobs specifically, I would do that. Cooper Kupp using Jacobs, and I like getting Dell in your lineup. I mean, Scary Terry's got a lot of value. Like, you might be surprised how close Scary Terry is to Gibbs, to somebody that is doubting Gibbs right now, reading and watching all this content that's like Monty, and everyone's like, Gibbs might fall to the wayside, and you've got Scary Terry and Hunt for Gibbs. Try. You never know. I see worse trades than that get pulled off for Gibbs. So 100% try. 5-1 last super chat, and then I'll go to the other ones that have loaded that I haven't put on screen yet. There's about 6 of them. And then first I'll go to the phone calls. 12-man team is Kyler, Connor, Tracy, London, Wilson, Spears, Slayton, and Schultz. Bench, Nico, Neighbors, Stevenson. Any moves to make? I guess I would say, looking at the squad, it's hard because you got your starters on the bench with the bye weeks. It's easier if you list all your talent at the top. But you got Neighbors, you've got Nico. Okay, so Neighbors, Nico, Kyler, Connor, Tracy, London, Spears, Slayton. I don't know, man. This is a tough team. It's 5-1 though. Like, you could afford to wait on Nico, so I don't know that I'd trade him. You're 5-1 and you've been waiting on Neighbors, and now you've been waiting on Nico. I'd probably say, geez, Benson and Connor's nice. Tracy's coming on strong. I don't know that there's a lot for you to do right now, because London and Wilson are stepping up big while you're waiting on Nico and Neighbors. Neighbors could be back, and you'll be fine throwing him in the lineup. Slayton's pretty decent too, if need be. I guess I would try and trade like Rashad Stevenson, Garrett Wilson on the high right now, and try and get into like a Tyreek Hill, an HN, or a Gibbs using those combinations. And don't be surprised if someone is wavering on that and willing to trade those guys on the low. I know a lot of people think that people will not give up a Gibbs for this because we love Gibbs so much. I'm telling you, the Gibbs market is so different than you think right now. It is crazy. Traded Henry and Dell for Hall Collins, Godwin. Hall Collins. Did I already do this one, Henry? Yeah, I did. What, Travis?
Yeah. I was going to say, would you give up Connor to get into a Gibbs right now?
Absolutely.
Because I'm just looking at his team, and Connor's in good form, but I think he got a little banged up a bit in this last game, and he always seems to miss some games. So I'm not saying run away from him, but that running back room would probably be the place to upgrade.
Gibbs, I've had a buy low video on Gibbs already, but I'm gonna do another one just because I think it's so win a league capable, and the Gibbs market is crazy generous right now. It is so wild how many people are just running away from Gibbs. It's crazy. All right, let me get you guys. I got the super chats. I thought I was making a dent in them, and they just piled up again real quick. So Let me go to Travis with whatever he has, and then rock out, and then I'll close the phone line for now. Go ahead, Travis.
Yes. So one league I'm in doesn't do fab. It's just the rolling waivers, which I'm not a fan of. But I've been holding the number one for a while. Would it be worth it to use on Tucker just in case something happens there and he gets, becomes a decent running back, or would you just hold it?
I mean, the problem is we're in week number 7 now, and I don't know how many more win a league waiver wire players will be there. As you get into nearing the double-digit weeks, there's almost nothing.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. And we know Tucker has talent, and if White ends up being more hurt or they go away from him, maybe that's a situation. So I was thinking it might not be the worst time to just use it, but I wasn't sure what you thought, because Davis is gone in this league. There's really no one to pick up. So would you lean toward using it?
I would. I think I would. Someone said Myra had 2 $20 haulers. Oh, I'm sorry, Myra. I didn't realize that was man, Myra with another $20 hauler. Moonshot for you. Nice. Moonshot for you.
To Mars.
Mars shot for you. Mars shot. I'm sorry. I thought that was the same one. It says, I got Derrick Henry, Breece, Godwin, and Jacoby for Garrett, Gibbs, and Brown and Downs. How did I lose? I think is what you're trying to say. Okay, so you got Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Godwin, and Jacoby. Is this a different trade then? It seems like it is. For Garrett Wilson, Gibbs. Okay, so Derrick Henry is look, he's playing out of his mind. People can try and predict that he'll get hurt or something, but at the end of the day, he is what he is right now. He is a top 3 overall pick, top 4 overall pick. It is what it is. So you got to rank Henry as a top 5 overall player. So you're crushing so far, getting Henry and getting Breece for Garrett Wilson and Gibbs. That's a huge upgrade. You could say, and Godwin and Jacoby over Brown and Downs, you got the best side of every part of that trade. I'm not saying it's easy to get rid of Gibbs because I love him. Maybe you go back and trade for him again. But you crushed that trade. You absolutely crushed that one. You crushed, Myra. And I'm sorry.
AJ Brown? Chase Brown.
Yeah.
Or
maybe it was AJ Brown.
I think she mentioned Chase Brown before. So.
Okay, so let me just break it down. If it was AJ Brown, so Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Godwin, and Jacoby for Garrett, Gibbs, and AJ Brown. I'd probably still rather have the Derrick Henry side, but it would be a lot closer. It'd be a lot closer. If it's Chase Brown, you crushed the trade. Absolutely crushed it. It's not even close. So congrats on that. Myra, I'm sorry about that. Thank you for whoever said Myra had a second super chat. Somebody I saw your comment. Yeah, and as for Sean Tucker, I don't know. The problem with that is, yes, you got to kind of do it, Travis, but I don't know.
I know.
What the odds of Sean Tucker taking over both of their jobs, Rachaad White and Ingram, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's hard to imagine. But then again, it's Bucky did get kind of banged up the week prior, and Rachaad White is injured, so who knows? Maybe Sean Tucker, maybe Bucky, because he was listed as kind of questionable and then upgraded. What if he's out this week and Rachaad doesn't return and Sean Tucker starts? That could happen.
Then it takes a little more. Yeah.
I would say go get him. Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Wait till next week, and then is there somebody else that I don't know.
Not really. So and just real quick, I know it depends on the league, but is Ray Davis a guy you'd consider full load drop on, or would you be hesitant because we don't know what the deal with Cook is? Cook's gonna have his role. It's just a matter of how much Ray Davis is going to play as well.
Yeah, I probably do. I mean, at this point, again, week 7, I don't know that we're going to have another couple full load drops or not.
Right.
So I probably would take my gamble that he is looking so good that we don't know. What if Cook can't stay healthy the rest of the way? He could be a total league winner.
Yeah. Well, it could be. People are speculating, but the replay. I don't know if you saw it. It was kind of nasty. He came down on that toe, and if it is a turf toe, those things linger. So it could be nothing too. A week and he's back. But
yeah. All right.
If
Hey,
it's a turf toe, you might miss a couple weeks. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna run because they're getting behind on this. But let me get the rock out real quick. All right,
Yep.
Travis, I'll message you in a bit. Rock out. You are live. Hit me with your final thought, and then I got to roll. Did you find out an idea you could do with your trade?
Yeah, he only has Javonte and Najee Harris.
Yeah, that's not a good trade partner, man. That's garbage.
I know. The problem is people overloaded on like a certain position on their team.
Because Mike Evans got hurt but went back in, I wonder if the owner really knows that, or he's really paying too much of attention. And because Jamar Chase did badly, can you go back to that Jamar Chase trade and get a little bit more?
I could try to get more, but as far as what he wanted, he wanted like a 2-for-1.
Yeah. Go to the HN owner, bro. All right, got to go. Rock out.
Right.
Message me if you need anything. I'll make sure to check IG later. All right, later.
All right, cool.
Justin, you got. I thought I answered Justin's call. He must have hung up. Justin, if you call back, you got 10 seconds because I got to get through this stuff. Can I drop Ray Davis or Keon Coleman for Garendo? Why would you drop Ray Davis, Danny, when like today is a Ray Davis celebration day? I mean, you got to drop Keon Coleman at this point right now. I'm not saying I don't love the guy, but the volume's just not there right now. It is what it is. Bijan for Ceedee. I'd take Ceedee in a heartbeat. And I love Bijan, but I'm taking Ceedee in a heartbeat. Team is QB, Hurts, Najee, B-Rob, Braylon Allen, Bigsby, Tracy, Ceedee, Nico, Debo, DK, McBride. Any moves? Probably say B-Rob Jr. or Bigsby or Tracy with a potential. Damn, I don't know. I mean, maybe you trade. You could trade Nico for Lamb, like Tracy and Nico for Lamb, or trade. I hate to say like trade Worthy or DK for Lamb by giving up a Bigsby or a Tracy or a Brian Robinson Jr., but that's the kind of thing you got to do, especially if you could get something else back that makes that a 2-for-2 that you quietly like. Other moves could be, I kind of really think you need to go RB, right? Because you probably like go after Gibbs, so Najee off a big game, Najee and DK for Gibbs and a player. HN and a player. I think that's probably your best avenue. I don't know if you could trade Brian Robinson Jr. and Tracy for Gibbs or HN and throw in just Worthy, or I'd even sacrifice McBride versus giving up on one of those wide receivers if you could play them all, and go rogue at tight end. I like McBride, but I'd rather sacrifice there and keep my wide receiver room and trade B-Rob. To go get HN, or even a hurt JT is tempting, you know what I mean? 3-3, 8-team league. Allen, HN, K9, Monty, Bucky, Chubb, AJ Brown, Ceedee, Hill, Reed, Adams, Dell, Worthy, Flowers, Kittle. Got offered London for Hill. I'd rather have London right now, but I think there's still a shot that Hill turns, he gets his value back. So while a lot of people would balk at that idea, like, oh, I'd never trade London for Hill, I don't think it's that crazy. I'd rather have London right now for sure, but it's, if you could get something with Hill, then I like it. Something strong, with Hill. Kincaid are likely. I'd rather have Kincaid just long term. I get that it doesn't look pretty right now. It is what it is, but he's still a talent that just needs to get the ball. I don't know. It's really weird how Josh Allen's doing it in a weird way. He's just not creating the amount of opportunities, and he's still getting it done. He's still scoring himself. It's a wild offense. It reminds me a lot of what the Chiefs looked like prior to week number 5. 4-2, full PPR. Caleb, Flacco, Kyron, Rico, Tank, Bigsby, Amon-Ra, Nico, Hill, Josh Downs, Rome, Kincaid moves. Probably say Amon-Ra, Nico, Tyreek Hill. I like that receiving room. Kyron. I'd maybe try and move Brooks and Rico and Tank, like 2 or 1 or 3 of those guys with a popping off Downs to maybe get into just a slight RB upgrade. Injured JT, Achane, Gibbs, Kamara, even Jordan Mason. I'd take a chance on Jordan Mason potentially. But definitely feel like those are the players to grab. $20 hauler from, AMAC. I didn't see the $20 hauler here. You get immediate attention when you drop a 20 watt, and I left you hanging. So for that, I apologize, my friend. And I'm going to send you to the moon.
To the moon.
To Mars. And to Saturn. I appreciate you dropping that. I'm sorry again about the wait. 10-man full PPR. Mayfield, May, Breece Hall, Cook, Pollard, Bucky, Rashad White, Bigsby, Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Scary, Terry, Slayton, Ferguson, Hawkinson. Any moves to make. Very good team. Probably say, make sure Davis isn't out there on waivers. You need to make sure you grab him. Tough team to trade, though, because I love the receivers. I love Breece Hall. I'd like to get Mahomes on the cheap if possible. And I think, many would say I'd rather have Baker Mayfield. Sure, then that's fine if people feel that way. And if you do too, I'm not mad at you. But I would trade for Mahomes. I don't know if you can send Pollard packing right now. Pollard and Cook or both of them. Maybe the Tampa Bay running back stable was Scary Terry to get Achane, to get Gibbs, to get JT, to get Kamara. I think that upgrading that Pollard spot wouldn't be a bad idea, or even upgrading Cook. So Cook for Gibbs, and then you throw in, let's say, Pollard or the Bucs running backs, or maybe even Scary Terry, and then you get somebody back in a 2-for-2, or you get that quarterback upgrade. Maybe the Mahomes owner gives you Gibbs and Mahomes, and because they got JD5 and they don't want to deal with it, and you give them James Cook, Scary Terry, or something like that. Thank you, pal. Appreciate your super chat. You're the man, the myth, the legend. Got offered Achane and Sharbs for my JK and Javante. Come on. Of course you take the Achane side. Tad bit hesitant to trade him. Thoughts on Dobbins? I mean, I like Dobbins, but he's an injury-prone player that I see the value and the allure in trading for him or holding him. But, bro, you're getting offered Devon Achane, who could score a 50-point game, more likely to score a 50-point game than anybody in the National Football League. 10-team, 3 wide receiver. Trust your gut, though. 10-team, 3 wide receiver PPR. Traded Neighbors to get Breece, 3-3. Mahomes, Baker, Breece, Mason, Kincaid. You got London, BT, Downs. I could go either way on this. I think at the end of the day, Breece and Neighbors are very dead even. I don't think there's a bad or a good move there. You got Cup coming back. That's fantastic. Your receiving room is going to be great. I would probably say stand down unless you're going to trade Mason away to get Gibbs or to get like JT banged up or something. I'd definitely take Gibbs, and I'd definitely throw in Downs or I'd maybe even use Chuba right now to get a safer RB. Kyler, ETN, AJB, Vidal for Allen. I assume that's Josh Allen. You got to be clear, bro, because there's Braylon Allen, there's Keenan Allen. I don't know. I assume that's a quarterback. Kyler, ETN, and AJB for Josh Allen and Ceedee. It's not even just a home run, bro. It's like a lambasting. Like you're crushing them and annihilating them. We got 20 gifted memberships from who is this? Perps coming in. Where's Perps been? Perps to Mars. To Mars. Perps with the gifted 20 memberships coming in strong. If you get a membership from Perps, thank them. Got Hall for Connor and Mooney last week. That's great. Kyler, JD5. 1 QB, though. You got to maybe... Well, Kyler's not shoppable right now. You wait a week, if he pops off. Kyron, Hall, Mason, I like it. Chase Brown, Neighbors, Cup, Tyreek. Honestly, I'm going to tell you to stand down. Got offered Bowers for Mason. Ingram's fine. I don't do that. You got Kraft and Ingram. I like Bowers, but I keep Mason. Mason's too valuable to trade in that. Casey, 2-4 record, 2-4 record, 2 QB league. Got JD5 and Dak. Keep the faith in Dak to a degree, bro. Gibbs, Monty, Chase Brown, Rashad White, Lamb, Diggs, BT. It's a good team. Very good team. Cup, BT, Lamb. You're great. Any moves? 2 QB league. I don't think so. Because you have to tear down that wide receiver room in order to get an RB upgrade, and your RBs are pretty damn good. You just start Monty and Gibbs; they're both bye-week free, and you just hammer home that running stable going forward, and you don't even need to worry about other RBs. You have the 2 guys. I like that team. I'm gonna say stand down for the most part, unless you bring me an offer that's just too good to refuse, then I'll do it. But I don't think I'm shopping that team. It's pretty damn good. Sometimes it's not good to tinker. Thanks again for this one. Definitely the Allen Ceedee side. 1, 5, and 5 leagues this week. Attaboy, TM42. That's good news to hear, bro. That's fantastic. I want to move Kamara. What do I trade him for? Gibbs straight up, of course. And honestly, if you could get Achane and something, I'd do that. And I'm not saying I wouldn't do it straight up. I would rather have Achane probably over Kamara personally, but that's me. But I think you can get more. Tyreek Hill and something. CeeDee Lamb straight up. But Gibbs straight up for sure. I'd even give a little bit more. 10-man league from J-Flow. Full PPR, 4-2. QBs are Lamar, Sam Darnold. Running backs are Connor, Gibbs, J.K. Dobbins, Bucky Irving. Wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Higgins, Godwin, DJ Moore, Flowers, Parkinson, Mark Andrews, Ingram. Trade ideas. I mean, Andrews did score, so you could try and move him off of the roster. I'm not trading A.J. Brown with the bye week out of the way. Godwin's been blowing up, but I'd use that if I had, if I could. DJ Moore is not going to be tradable. Zay Flowers could be. Higgins and Zay Flowers, one of those guys with Dobbins to get Gibbs or Achane or JT. I would try not to use Godwin, but I would use Godwin in a separate deal to get CeeDee Lamb if I had to throw another player with that, if let's say JK wasn't moved or something. So both those trades would be fire. Your team would be untouchable if you pulled off 2 of those trades, or, Lamb's probably the guy, to go get in that situation. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate you back. Perps to the moon. Perps says you're welcome, guys. Thank Perps if you got a gifted membership. Perps to the moon. I mean, what a crazy week. We're on to week number 7 officially. And again, this video is up. If you guys haven't seen that it's up, it's my buy low week 7 wide receiver video. Go look for the graphic. It's already up. The running back one drops tomorrow. The waiver wire video already dropped, but we did a refresh on this show at the top of the show. So make sure you rewatch to get a fresh look at the week 7 waiver wire board, where Davis, Bigsby, Tracy kind of lead the way. Juju at wide receiver, AR5 is available in 30% of leagues right now. Drake, May, Darnold, those are the top pickups of the week. Make sure you go rewatch that. But we did all of the waiver wire stuff, broke down the game, handled tons of super chats. We got about 850 people in the building. We need 8 more subscribers to hit 30,600 members, on our way to 31K. Appreciate you all. So subscribe if you're new. I'll tell you if I see us go to 30.6K. As we're getting into the bigger numbers, I'm like hesitating on how I read it. I'm like 30.6K. I mean, look, we're doing good. We're doing good. I work for you. And I'm here Monday through Friday. Every single Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live whenever big news breaks. Additionally, live whenever big news breaks on top of my Monday through Friday 8 p.m. show. I'm also live a lot of midnights as well. So appreciate every single one of you guys. You absolutely rock. Every single one of you. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you all. Perps to the moon. Perps to the freaking moon. My $20 haulers tonight, you guys, thank you so much for dropping the 20s. We got 808 guy. We've got McClinton, I think. DeBalt coming in with some super chats. Appreciate you. The other $20 haulers, we had KJV. We had Myra dropping 2 20s. We got AMAC dropping a 20 watt. AMAC, I'm sorry I was delayed on answering your question. I definitely got to it, but if you missed it, I think it was, what did I say on yours? I think it was trade Pollard and Cook with Scary Terry to go get that Gibbs, that Achane, you know, and throw in. I wouldn't even be bashful about getting Pollard and Cook and Scary Terry involved, you know, getting lamb chops or getting one of those big guns, bro. Appreciate all my $19.99 $20 haulers and all of you, anybody that dropped $1, whatever, it doesn't matter. I appreciate you. And even if you just liked and subscribed, whatever, we need a couple more subscribes and we're at 30.6K, so smash it. Promise you this is the best channel you're going to find in terms of what you need to win and dominate and just get your fix of constant fantasy football advice. Thanks again, Perps, for dropping the 20 gifted memberships. Perps to the mother freaking moon. $10 hauler, PPR, Allen, James Cook, Mason, Tank, Davis, AJB, Reed, Lazard, Worthy, Ladd, CMC, any moves. I mean, I'd look to shop Mason and CMC personally. I want Gibbs straight up for that. I do. I'd take it. But you could probably get more Gibbs and something for CMC and Mason. If you got to throw in Lazard for free, do it. He's popping off. James Cook for JT, and you throw in a Reed or something and you get something else back. I'd be tempted to go in that direction, but James Cook or JT's a risk. But maybe Cook and Reed for Achane or Gibbs is another option for you. It's a good opportunities for you with that team and the way that you could throw some of that around. Reed, Lazard, and then Superfish with a $2 hauler says membership milestones to read, please. I think there are some of those, so let me go find those. We got Jonathan Coble. What's your take on Sean Tucker? We like him, but it is a committee, and there's some concern that it's going to be hard to break through and get all the reps, but certainly should be grabbed. Smitty is the super goat indeed. Thank you, Superfish. Appreciate you dropping that gift or that celebratory message. And Breece is still running back 1, says Myra. He certainly is. Thank you for your membership question. And McBride, Puka for Hurts and Dell. I would take Hurts and Dell if you need a QB upgrade. And even if you, even if you don't, it's like hard to say no to that. You know, like Dell and Puka, I'd rather have Dell right now because he's playing. And McBride, I like McBride, but like Hurts, you know, maybe you can trade away your QB if, let's say, you don't necessarily need this, but it's a good value. Hurts and Dell is fantastic. Hurts has got the bye week out of the way. That's kind of easy stuff. Appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll have multiple shows tomorrow. Running back buy low video, maybe another video or two, and then the live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern as we go live every single Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. I'll see you all later. Please subscribe if you're new. We just need a couple more, and then we're at 30.6K. So punch that. I'll call it out if I see it before I hit the end button.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a whole of a job. A whole of a job. A whole of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a jale ba-
He's Kyron. He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball.
He's Kyron. He can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
It was brought to my attention. I might be talking a little bit too much about the same topic lately. I've been doing a lot of JD5 posts, and I know people are saying, Smitty, I wish you could create more diverse content. You've been like 4 of your last 10 posts have been about JD5, and I just said, I don't know. I guess my reaction wasn't really the best. So I want to first acknowledge that and just say, no one's perfect. I'm always trying to get better. And I do think you won't hear any more. I'm gonna stay away from JD5 content. Never. Come on, bro.
There are 2 5s? JD5, AR5? There can't be.
Oh no. They're gonna cross streams.
Oops. Well, damn. He's a fragile Freddy.
He's a 5. JD5 is the only 5. JD5 is him, and now all can see. He graduated from Himothy University. Unleash the Washington Kraken. JD5 to Saturn
and beyond.
To Saturn
and beyond.
Supernova.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.